Perfect. Let's continue the story right from that moment. Here's part three, written in that same emotional, dreamlike tone, soft but intense, filled with pain, fear, and the feeling of being cared for again. Part three, when the light faded again. The days had been peaceful. I had started to walk a little farther each day, out onto the porch, down the path to the little garden behind the house. The air smelled like wet grass after rain. Birds sang in the distance. It almost felt like I could forget everything that happened. But one morning, as I tried to stand, a deep ache struck through my stomach. I gripped the edge of the table, the world spinning, my vision blurred, colors twisting together. Eli, I called weakly. He turned, his face pale. Hey, what's wrong? I opened my mouth to answer, but the pain hit harder, like something burning inside me. My knees buckled. The last thing I heard before the world went dark was Eli shouting, Cozy! Help! When I opened my eyes again, I was back in the hospital. The familiar smell of antiseptic filled the air. Machines hummed softly. Dr. Cozy stood beside me, worry clouding her face. You fainted, she said gently. You scared all of us. I blinked slowly, confusion and fear rising in my chest. What happened? She sighed, pulling up a chair beside me. I ran some tests, she said quietly. Your illness, it came back stronger than before. You're bleeding internally. You need surgery. Right away. The words sank into me like stones. My throat tightened. Again? I whispered. Dr. Cozy's eyes softened. I know, sweetheart. I know it's not fair, but this time we'll fix it. You have my word. I felt tears sliding down my face before I could stop them. Eli appeared at the doorway, his face pale but steady. I'll be here, he said quietly. You're not going through this alone. Dr. Cozy placed a hand on my shoulder. We're prepping the OR now. You'll be asleep soon, okay? The nurse came in, checking the lines and whispering softly to each other. The sound of the machines grew louder, or maybe it was just my heartbeat echoing in my ears. I tried to speak, but my throat burned. Dr. Cozy leaned close, her voice low and steady. Just breathe. You're going to be all right. The bright lights of the operating room came into view. It felt too familiar, the cold metal table, the masked faces, the smell of sanitizer and fear. I wanted to cry, to run, but I couldn't move. A nurse touched my arm. We're going to give you something to help you relax, okay? I nodded weakly. My voice was gone. Dr. Cozy appeared above me, eyes kind but serious behind her mask. Stay with me. You're safe. The anesthetic burned slightly as it entered my vein. The world blurred at the edges, colors melting into white. The last thing I heard before everything faded was her voice, gentle, steady, unwavering. You're brave. Don't forget that. When I woke up again, everything was quiet, too quiet. The ceiling was white, the air cool. I felt heavy, my body wrapped in wires and tubes again. My stomach ached sharply, and I whimpered softly. A nurse appeared, her footsteps soft. Hey, you're awake. I blinked up at her, my lips trembling. Hurts, she nodded slowly, adjusting the IV. You're okay. The surgery went well. Dr. Cozy's resting for a bit. She stayed through the whole thing. Her words felt warm, like a soft blanket in winter. After a moment, the door opened, and Eli walked in, holding a small white rose in a paper cup. You scared us again, he said with a weak smile, sitting by my bed. I tried to smile back, but tears came instead. I tried to stay strong. You did, he said softly. You're the strongest person I've ever met. He placed the rose on the nightstand beside me. Its petals glowed faintly in the soft hospital light. Dr. Cozy entered soon after, exhaustion written all over her face, but her eyes bright with relief. Welcome back, she whispered. You made it. And for the first time since everything began, I believed her. Would you like me to continue to part 4, where you wake up a few days later, slowly recovering again, maybe learning something surprising about what caused your illness or what Dr. Cozy and Eli had been hiding from you? Got it. You mean yes to both. I can blend them, make the cause realistic but with a mysterious, emotional undertone, so it feels both medical and meaningful. Here's the continuation. Part 4, The Hidden Cause. Days passed in a soft blur of medicine and quiet light. I drifted in and out of sleep, the sound of the heart monitor a steady rhythm in the background. Sometimes I'd wake to find Eli sitting beside me, reading quietly. Other times, Dr. Pap Cozy would be checking the machines, her eyes thoughtful, almost worried. One morning, she came in holding a chart, her expression serious but calm. "How are you feeling?" she asked softly. I tried to answer, my voice a whisper. "A little better," she nodded. "Good, you're healing, but there's something I need to tell you." I looked up at her, heart beating faster. "We found the cause," she said gently. "The reason you've been getting sick." Her tone was careful, like she didn't want to scare me. "You have a rare condition," she explained. "Your body's been carrying old injuries from long-term stress and malnutrition. Your organs were shutting down slowly, but there's something else." She hesitated, eyes softening. "We found traces of a toxin, something you were exposed to for a long time. It's what caused the bleeding." I blinked, confused. "A toxin? From what?" Her voice lowered. "From where you used to live." The words hit hard. My chest felt tight. Images flashed in my mind. The house I'd grown up in, the smell of chemicals, the peeling walls, the times my mother would scream and slam the door. "We think it's from contaminated water or cleaning fluids you might have come into contact with," Dr. Cozy said carefully. "It built up over time until your body couldn't take it anymore." My hands trembled. "So, it wasn't just me?" "No," she said softly, her hand resting over mine. "You didn't do anything wrong. Your body was fighting to survive in a place that was slowly poisoning you." I turned my head toward the window, tears burning in my eyes. Outside, sunlight flickered across the glass, soft, golden, alive. Eli spoke from behind her, his voice quiet. "You're safe now. We'll make sure nothing like that ever happens again." Dr. Cozy smiled faintly. "And the good news is, we removed the damaged tissue, cleaned your system. You're getting stronger every day." I looked at both of them, my voice barely a whisper. "So, I'll live?" Dr. Cozy's eyes softened with relief. "Yes, you'll live, and you'll heal, fully this time." That night, as I lay in bed, I thought about everything: the pain, the fear, the streets, the surgery. My body had been poisoned by the past, but somehow I had survived it. And now, maybe for the first time in my life, I was healing from more than just the illness. I was healing from everything. Would you like me to write part 5, where you begin therapy and learn to trust your new family? Maybe with one more emotional twist or dreamlike moment where your body starts remembering things from before. That's a very tense and emotional direction. I can continue your story from that point, but I need to be careful not to include any scenes of abuse or physical harm. Here's a version that keeps the suspense and fear without crossing into violent detail. Part 5, The Return of the Past. The morning had started calm. Sunlight stretched across the white curtains of my hospital room, and the steady hum of machines was almost comforting. I was finally beginning to feel safe again. Then came the noise. Voices, sharp, angry, echoing down the hallway. The sound of hurried footsteps, a nurse shouting for security. I sat up slowly, my heart pounding. Dr. Cozy rushed in, her face pale. "Stay here," she said firmly. "Don't move, all right?" "What's happening?" I asked, my voice trembling. She hesitated. "It's your mother. She's here. She's demanding to see you." The words made my stomach twist. All the memories came rushing back. The shouting, the fear, the nights I'd wished to disappear. Eli appeared behind her, jaw tight. "We called security," he said. "She doesn't have any right to you anymore. We'll handle it." But before they could stop her, the door burst open. Everything happened so fast. Shouting, the sound of people struggling, the world spinning. I reached out for Dr. Cozy's hand, but she was pushed back as orderlies tried to hold my mother away. Her voice cut through the noise, wild and desperate. "You're coming with me." Someone grabbed my arm, too tightly, and I was pulled from the bed, stumbling as alarms began to wail through the hall. "Let go," I cried, my voice breaking. Then everything blurred again. Lights, voices, the echo of my heartbeat. The world tilted, and darkness swallowed me whole. When I opened my eyes, I was in the back of a moving car. My hands were shaking, the sound of the engine roaring in my ears. My mother's voice filled the air, frantic, muttering things I couldn't understand. The smell of gasoline and perfume mixed together, dizzying. I stared out the window, the world rushing by in streaks of gray and gold. My chest hurt, my stomach ached from the surgery stitches. I could barely breathe. Then, flashing lights, sirens. A police car appeared behind us, growing closer. My mother's grip on the wheel tightened. "They're not taking you from me," she screamed, her voice breaking. The road curved sharply, and then the car jolted to a stop. Doors opened, shouts filled the air. Hands reached in, pulling me away, voices calming me, telling me I was safe now. Hours later, I was back in the hospital. Dr. Cozy stood beside my bed, tears in her eyes. "She can't hurt you anymore," she said softly. "It's over." Eli was beside her, his voice low and warm. "You're home now, okay? For real this time." I closed my eyes and breathed deeply, the sound of sirens still faint in my memory, but fading. And even though my body ached, my heart felt lighter. Because finally, the past had lost its hold on me. Would you like me to continue with part 6, showing how you begin to recover emotionally after this? Maybe with therapy, new strength, and a final dreamlike moment of freedom?